Good afternoon, everyone. I am Anand Prakash, founder and CEO at PingSafe. We are a cloud security platform backed by Sequoia. I started my ethical hacking journey in 2013 by finding a bug on Facebook, which they rewarded with $500, and then subsequently made into top 5 white hat hackers in bounty programs of Facebook, Uber, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Salesforce. Also made into Forbes under 30 list of Asia in 2017 in enterprise tech category. So in this talk, we'll be discussing some of my findings in these major bounty programs and the tricks that have been used on finding these vulnerabilities and how you can find similar bugs when you do bug bounties. And then we'll be moving on to some of the case studies in cloud security. So first of all, how many of us get here a message request saying, can you hack my girlfriend's account or boyfriend's account? So this bug took me quite around one and a half month of time to figure out. So if you go to Tinder, what do you see on the login page? You see like two options. One is login with Facebook, then there is login with OTP. And as a bounty hunter, I went onto the site and saw that the OTP service is powered by AccountKit, which is powered by also Facebook. So both the login mechanisms were of Facebook. So for me to hack into your into your Tinder account, I have to either compromise your Facebook account first or AccountKit account first. So context, I combined like two different vulnerabilities to create a very high impact bug. I found first bug in AccountKit login, where I go to login with AccountKit option, enter my phone number, enter my OTP, which has been sent to my phone number, and then I kind of enter the access token, which is supplied by some other app on AccountKit. And interestingly, there was no client ID validation, which is like the most common bug in Auth 2.0. So, but for me to compromise your account, I can't really get hold of your access token, right? Which is like a very long string. I can't really get hold of it. So to make it like more high impact bug, I went on to AccountKit dashboard. AccountKit had a dashboard, accountkit.com. The service is not active. It has been decommissioned by Facebook now. I went on to the dashboard, looked at the UI and there were only two options. You can stop some messages from getting sent and you can ban apps for login and stuff like that. But then I went into the JS files, some of the JavaScript files, figured out a hidden endpoint which was meant for updating phone number of a user. Maybe that was being used for some internal purpose or something like that. And I kind of figured that endpoint out from the JS file. And if you look at the API request, the update sync async phone/confirm API call, this was the exact API call. So in the update phone request, I kind of enter my phone number and OTP will be sent to my number. And then I will also get a request code which is also belonging to my OTP itself. But interestingly, what was happening here is the new phone number was missing validation. So update underscore request underscore code and confirmation code were getting checked, but it was not really getting checked with the new phone number where my number was supposed to be entered. So basic simple validation bug figured out in a hidden endpoint, but now I could compromise like any other AccountKit account in the world. So simply entering your phone number, I will have access. I will be directly logged in to your AccountKit, and I will have a cookie named AKS. AKS cookie supplied by the AccountKit dashboard. And now I use that cookie to kind of use that in Tinder's API request, which have two parameters. Token ID was not mandatory. You simply enter the other account's token that you got, and you will be logged in into any account. You could read their chats and everything. So like very basic bug, combined multiple bugs to create a high severity bug. And most of these times, if we report a very low severity bug, companies say, they argue that this is not a high severity bug, critical severity bug, we'll put that in backlog for like 6 months of time or something like that. And you would end up ignoring that. So it's kind of necessary to fix like low severity bugs as well. This is the screenshot showing the AKS token, AKS cookie, which you can use like a master token. And any other company who was using AccountKit was vulnerable to this. Reverb, Savan, everyone was vulnerable. You could log in into all the other accounts as well. So very high impact bug, very high user impact due to a security misconfiguration. Final impact, ability to take over any Tinder account. Even though I found like 2 low severity bugs, but I combined them to create a high impact bug. And every bounty hunter or black hat hacker, they work in same way, try to figure out 2-step, 3-step exploits to kind of create large scale impact to companies. Moving on to Uber. So this bug allowed me to compromise any Uber or Uber driver account, rider account, very basic bug. So I kind of went on doing recon process, what we normally do, figured out a domain saying bonjour.uber.com. And it was a domain, I kind of tried looking out like what this domain is really used for. Then by doing some Googling and stuff, I kind of got to know that this is used to sign up drivers in US. I kind of entered a US number, went onto the flow, and figured out an endpoint in the same flow. And if you look at the request, there is a small request which basically says RPC equal to get consent screen details, and there is a user UUID going in. So bug was very simple. I kind of enter some other user's UUID, and then I kind of see your extra information which is leaked in the API. So if you look at the response of the API, you can see. Yes, sorry. You can see that there is a token parameter which is being highlighted. So can you guess what this token parameter is? Any guesses? This is a web application. Can you guess what is the token parameter? This is the mobile app access token. So this is like master access token. If you have logged in into your Uber app on rider, as a rider or partner, this is like master token. You can call all the APIs which are being held by the mobile app. And if you look at like other extra data which is coming in the request, in the response is like sign up latitude, sign up longitude. But the problem is I can't get your Uber UUID. How do I get a random string? Then I spent some more time. I registered myself as a driver. My friend had a restaurant. I onboarded him to Uber restaurant. Tried figuring out another low impact bug. Had like 600 endpoints. Tried looking out for a bug which would leak Uber users UUID. So this is the second bug, very low impact bug. If you look at this request, this was in like the Uber. When I registered as a driver, I found this endpoint there, and this request is like you add driver, you enter any phone number, country code, and similarly there is another request where you enter email address of any other user, and the response would be driver UUID not found. So even if you enter a rider or driver phone number, any number, you would get the UUID of another Uber user. So think of a case, you entering my phone number in this API call, getting my Uber user UUID, and then you using the first bug to kind of get my mobile app's access token, and then you seeing all my past ride history, seeing my credit card details, you can take rides from my Uber account, everything. So this was impacting all Uber users, and then fixed. So even though initially I thought I failed to get into Uber account when I saw the UUID, long random string, if I report it to a bounty program, they would say, how would you get the UUID of other user? But I tried exploiting it, figured out multiple other endpoints to create a very high impact bug. So as an attacker, we try to get access to apps like agent applications, driver apps, restaurant apps, and then figure out other second order vulnerabilities to create a very high impact bug. Try to create correlation. If you are new into bug bounties, try to create correlations into different apps and combine multiple other vulnerabilities to create a critical bug. Facebook. So this was very weird bug. This has not been disclosed yet till date. So this was in the main Facebook app. I was testing main Facebook app, capturing the traffic. In main Facebook app, they had access token going in to authorize all the requests. And that access token is basically used to get your messages, notification, whatever you do on the mobile app. And all of you must be aware about login with Facebook functionality. So when you go to any third-party site, you go to login with Facebook, and you do next, and sometimes you see like permissions being given to the other third-party app. But what if you have given the basic permission to a third-party app, only access your email address or user ID, but still that third-party app is able to access your messages, notifications, and everything of your account. So this bug basically allowed any third-party application, if you have authorized any third-party application in your in Facebook account, obviously they will have your access token in their database, right? They would end up getting access to your messages, notifications, the entire Facebook app. This was the API call. All the API calls were vulnerable. This was one of them. This request is basically used to fetch number of messages. You can change number of messages to 1,900. So any third-party app would have used this endpoint to get access to your entire messages and other details, order history, payment information, whatever APIs were there. So high impact, billions of users out there. It had like any other app, wherever we use login with Facebook, they would be able to impact billions of lives which are out there due to a simple security misconfiguration. And the takeaway is mostly like, when looking out for bounties, don't think something is very obvious. I see most of the folks trying with recon process first, and then hesitant to go into main application and try to figure out bugs. So you should also focus on main applications, because you will end up finding these weird bugs sometimes. But impact of application security bugs. So we talked about some of the application security bugs here. High impact bugs, critical impact bugs. Companies end up paying large bounty amounts for this as well. But our data breach is really prevented because of this. So I was doing like bug bounties from these many years, and then I realized this. So the impact is very high, right? If you find bugs in APIs, you would end up accessing some user data, partial user data. But cloud-related issues, you would end up compromising the entire company itself. In 2020, as per HackerOne's report, there was a rise in 12,286% in security misconfigurations reported on the platform. And the impact of cloud security vulnerabilities, because of the extent, because of exposure, you would end up compromising the entire cloud, is like very high. So we'll come on to some of the cloud case studies. This one was an assessment which we did for a company. We had like subdomains and everything. We figured out an open port. Docker registry was open to public. I could have we downloaded the Docker registry. We had permission to do that. We downloaded the registry. We pulled out all the images, created containers, and then got access to the application code. And in the application code, this is like very, very common. Companies end up hard coding like secrets in the code, right? So they had like AWS access key and secret key hard coded. Then, like further steps, We use those AWS credentials to list down cloud formation templates. And in those cloud formation templates, they had Jira, Slack hard tokens hard-coded, GitHub's token hard-coded. So you use GitHub token to kind of get access to like all the repos that you compromise Slack, you end up compromising Jira. And you know what happens is, when we go as security professionals, when we go to a company and say that Jira everyone is having like all access, all project access restricted. So what we found using that Jira token is, it had access to like security project. You could find like all the bugs that have been filed in their security project. So like from cloud ending up to SaaS apps which are out there, and you understand the impact, right? So how big the impact is when a cloud, when someone's cloud is compromised. And this is how most of the breaches happen. We should solve for like these low-hanging fruits as well, hard-coded secrets, obviously opening up ports, authentication, like basic stuff. This one was, so how many lost money over here? Quite a few hands. So this one was very interesting. We kind of published it yesterday. So Shiba Inu, one of their developers, had put their AWS key on a public repository. So it had like all the permissions. We were able to get hold of the key within like 1 minute of leakage. And we did some smoke test. Obviously, it's a platform, so you can't really go and exploit things like when you do in private engagements. We were able to list down EC2 instance. It had permissions to kind of create new RDS instance, drop RDS instances, modify S3 buckets, everything. So like entire cloud compromise of 6 billion market cap crypto coin, and high time it's like 500 million billions of dollars being traded daily. So like very basic bug. These were the keys. They removed the credentials yesterday. They created a new repository also to make sure no one kind of figures it out. These were some of the screenshots to kind of list down the EC2 instances. Final impact, full key permission, who would kind of use keys. And we were able to kind of, you could do like extra steps, but we can't do really when you kind of do in the bounty programs. They were not even having a bounty program. All developers were anonymous. We tried reaching out over Twitter, Telegram, no response. So we had to publish this. The key was deactivated after 2 days of time. Takeaways. Try harder. If you are new to bug bounty, persistence is the key. You have to be very persistent. If I can do it, you can also do it. Anyone can do it. Ethics are like cornerstone for success. Don't exploit a bug too much if you don't have permission. Don't try to extort money from companies for simple bugs. I started my career as an application security engineer, then completely transitioned onto a cloud security professional. I still do like try to figure out these bugs, but you can also start learning cloud security, very emerging area. And last but not the least, do not rely on tools too much. Don't be a tool monkey. Try to learn what is actually happening on the back end. Obviously, you can use tools to kind of automate some of the tasks, but what I and other folks are also seeing is bounty hunters trying multiple tools, getting few initial dollars, but that won't last for like many years. So you have to learn coding, infrastructure, everything, try things, combine multiple bugs, and then do this. Thank you.